Jeff, take a lesson from me. Learn to be patient and accepting and roll with it for a day. Okay. Good morning. Let's see if this market's ready to get out of this disgusting trading range. I doubt it. I doubt it. I think maybe we're going to have to deal with this until tomorrow. Whatever it is, you know what? We can't change it. So we'll deal with it for now. Markets are up here a little bit. Thank you, Joe. And let's see where it's at relative to this range. So there's this whip on the CPI down, up, it's more of the same, coming up into resistance here at 123. And that's the top of yesterday's range. And so these numbers down here are the current bars, high and low, and the difference. I use this, and I had one made for NinjaTrader. So the way I use this is to obviously know the high and low and the range, and that changes. As the market changes, even intraday. Oh, shoot. A little brain damage there on my part. Sorry about that. I do that once in a while. Okay, there you go. All right. So I was saying that spiders are up here at the top of the range from yesterday. The grayed area is the overnight data. Okay? So popped up into resistance, went down and back up. You see it went down to about 420 and a half. And I think we're going to have to wait till tomorrow, the options expiration for the week, to get this thing possibly to move one way or the other. I hope it can. I don't really care which direction, just as long as it's no longer directionless. But what I was saying here about these numbers at the bottom, you can see this is the current day and that's the prior day. And you can see they're both about the same. The highs and lows aren't too far off. And this is the difference between the high and low. And as I was saying, this can change over time. You can see wider bars, and especially intraday, that also obviously changes to smaller time frames. And sometimes, say, the NQ futures could be a 2-point range. It could be a 15 plus point range. So you have to adjust your money management, share sizing accordingly. So it's a helpful, really simple little tool. You could probably set it up in any platform. I recently had it done for NinjaTrader. So as far as these options and this expiration that we covered yesterday, it was changes. This changes day to day. And so this 420 level, if it should, or it dropped down there close to it, you can see the big open interest down there. So it's a focal point. And then you got this whole cluster up above, the 423 and above. So we'll see if you can get, through any of these levels, but keep an eye if it does sell off going back down there to 420, it probably going to find some support and maybe pop back up. It's already done it. So one of the concepts from MTS is, has a prior reference point been used already? Now, the more a reference point can be used, at some point it kind of weakens, and enough's enough. And usually by the third one, it's going to fail. So, we'll see. Just keep that in mind. You can see the area. I've got this red area marked off here. This has been the bottom, and hasn't gotten above to the top there. And already covered where it's at. We'll see what today brings, but just being aware of, the way things are, which are relatively tight right now, which is obvious to all of us, right? But in the middle of the day, something in the brain kicks in and it's like, damn, I knew that. Why did I fight it? But we do that because we just get frustrated and we start pressing buttons when we shouldn't. Anyway, stick to the plan. So let's see where other things are at. S&Ps, just spread that out a little bit. You can see the same drop and pop up into the top of the range. If we ended today with a green bottoming tail bar, that would make me think it's going to go up. Testing that area a few times and see if it can get it through those highs there. And I mentioned a week ago about the internals, and you can see not much change. It's still up here at this bearish level. The breadth deteriorating a little bit is really not a big deal. Market's going sideways, normal. This is the long-term sentiment. It's up there. And this is the equity put call ratio. This is the total put call ratio. Yesterday, breadth was almost non-existent, not unusual in a market that's just marking time. And you can see the bar there, little narrow range inside bar. So we've got the signal a week ago. So far, the market's just correcting sideways. That's a positive. I'd like to see these levels pull back a little bit, but sometimes they stay flat. And whatever this market's waiting for, we'll see what tomorrow brings. I don't think it's going to change much today, but we'll keep open mind, of course. All right. The Dow was weak yesterday. You sold off at the end of the day. Look to the left, right near that low there. It held, the back and forth whip and back up again. It's just really a frog in a blender pattern. A put spread on the diamonds, sure. I mean, it's here near this now near this pivot low. It's pulled back for 3 days. It's stabilizing here. I don't know what the strikes are, but I think that makes sense today. Sure. 346, 340. So gapping up a little bit. I would have really preferred it gapping down for sure. By the way, hey guys, ladies, this whole thing about gamma means, McGraw is always helping out with a little gamma news and levels and so on, whatever. But Dan sent me an an email from Tasty Trade. And one of the videos was, what is negative gamma? It was funny because these are the two option gurus out there. They had no freaking idea. It was funny. They had these slides that someone made up for them. It was pure brain damage as they read through this, and you could see on their faces, they wanted to get through it. People are talking gamma, and it's like at the end, there's like, they were like, oh yeah, there it is. It's simple. I says, really? You have no idea, right? And most of that revolves around the fact, from my point of view, that the concept or the definition of gamma, which they covered, doesn't relate truly to support and resistance type of thing that we're looking at and how prices move. But anyway, it was interesting, and go watch it. Maybe we'll find the link in the chat room, but obviously it's on their website. But these are the big option guys. What is negative gamma? They look lost at the beginning and at the end. It was kind of funny. Anyway, Dan shared that, and I spent the 8 minutes to watch it because I was interested, of course, to see what they would have to say. So as far as this goes on a put spread, I would much prefer that it gapped down. And now, as it's popped up here a little bit, maybe it comes, but I think it's a decent idea if there's some premium down here. It makes sense. YM. All right, we got the reversal there. Buyers there, Qs. Just continues the whip. Our factory work, wide range bar. stay at the top of the range. It's doing better than staying at the top of the range, which in this case, it's really not good because it's not consolidating down here where it then would break out into the void. It's pushing up in there and getting rejected, and it's not going anywhere. So even if it gets some upside going, other than an intraday move, I don't think it's got much to go. So from a daily chart perspective, the idea of a bigger move and new all-time highs, I don't think so. Not this week anyway. And you can see topping tail, topping tail. You look to the left, bottoming tail, closes all in the same place. Look, and one of the things that this reflects, this indecision, is that you've got $billion funds out there and they don't know what the hell's going on. Right. So more money doesn't necessarily mean you know what's going on. Right. So there's a lot of this is a picture of indecision, and markets need something. What that is, we'll find out probably next week. All right, Russell, right up at the top of the range there. There was some rejection. It's holding here. It's been the leader, and just kind of whipping there. Maybe pops back up a little bit more. At the open. Obviously, buying the dip is still going on. Starting to form more of a top type of thing here. Frog in a blender. Bonds up at the top of the range there, and whip back down. Indecision, no matter where you look. 10-year, same story. Nothing much going on. Oil, just marching higher. And so other than some intraday, ripples, that's a strong uptrend. It doesn't pull back. So you see the pivots, obviously you do, but I'm pointing out pivot highs, pivot lows, pivot low, relatively close together. No pivot highs, no pivot lows. That's a strong trend. I've seen even stronger, of course, where the bars don't overlap much at all. But when you see that there's no pivot highs and no pivot lows, that means it doesn't pull back. Strong, and really not much to stop it. And, this has got the that weird situation that happened last year, but I can see at least all of the data with the continuous contract, because we look to the left to see where might this go, and there's a void up to $75. So until something changes on a smaller time frame, a nasty red bar, deep retracement, the assumption is it'll keep going up there until it reaches its destination. Gold dip and up again, had that big red bar and just chopping sideways here. So indecision there as well. And the transports, they closed under the 50 MA yesterday and sitting right there on the pivots. Maybe it'll recover, but we've got a big red bar, and it's down multiple bars in a row. So stabilization today, which could then sets up the potential for a 1, 2, 3 lower. And if the transports are going down, I've seen the markets, equity markets, meaning tech and the S&Ps, ignore that. But it's a heads up. It's like something is wrong here. It's like over here, this was very right. You remember last year, the transports were always catching up, right? Coming up with the rear. And here they were leading, and that's a good thing. And now there's got this topping pattern. So while the markets are not far from all-time highs, we see deterioration happening here. And if this starts to break down, so just keep an eye on it. Internals give us a bearish signal. If we see, transport starting to deteriorate further, you start things start coming together to where, you know, accidents begin to happen more often. And so we'll see if we get any movement today, but the expectation is for probably more of the same. All yours, Dan.
All right, good morning. So all of our opens are fine. Yeah, those transports, I'd love a 1, 2, 3. That's Sam Sauce. Over bottoming pattern, over yesterday's high, sure. Jenny. 2040. It's too sloppy for me. You know, it's right into resistance. Overlapping bars, that's not good. Hey, Jay, your drop down. Facebook. I don't trust that for next week. Because it's in an it's a pullback in an uptrend. Rising railroad track 2050, all-time highs. So tomorrow would be okay. Today's Thursday, so tomorrow. But no, I don't trust that for next week. I would much rather do it in Netflix. I mean, see how we teach moving averages, kind of help speed up the process. But look at these, you know, it's kind of a trading range here after a downtrend, double bottom, lower high though, broke down again. So we have a trading range, but I got declining 20 and 50. So yeah, let's keep an eye on Netflix call spread for tomorrow, McGraw. This looks beautiful for that. So let's go, you know, see what credit we get. Cat day trade short. It's not my style, Stephen, because it's down 4 days on support. And you know, closing at the low and now gapping up into a WRB. Nah, I'm not crazy about that at all. Thomas, CGC. Yeah, we sold a put spread on this, Thomas, and marijuana stocks were looking so good yesterday. And so we have put spreads on CGC and also Tilray. And you remember what I said in the morning? I've seen this movie before. I'm like, I know things look great. Let's see how they look into the close. We also did a put spread on MJ, and actually, yeah, we bought MJ also, and closed with a big old topping tail. This is a tough sector to trade. MSTR, yeah, that has a nice reversal now. It's extended on the 15-minute though, Paul. So you got to put it in a 5 or 15-minute chart and look for an entry. But McGraw, that's a put spread idea. Look at, you know, how we all always teach volume is secondary. So this is a bottoming tail on support in a wide range bar breakout on volume. So that makes it much better. So I love this as a put spread, McGraw. Now 483. Oh yeah, nice gap. Yeah. Let's put that in a window and watch it. Scott, sure. That's a candidate. Absolutely. That's, you know, that's a big old W bottom. Higher low with a gap on the right side. So let's just see if it holds here. And directional. Yes, but the 15's extended. So we need a pullback. Let's see what else. MRO, US. MRO 1373. It's gap. I don't like the pullback from these 4 bars, because that's a square top as opposed to a V top. But it held the upper 50%, and it's a 1, 2, 3 on the weekly, so it is still very strong. And I like the gap up too. Uh, APR, Sam. I don't know what you're looking at there. It's gapping up, but it's a nasty daily. I don't know. I'd rather keep my money in cash before playing with that thing. Well, but gap above a red bar is not a pattern. It's a bullish event, but that's not a pattern. And I have no pattern on the intraday. I pre-market here, it's up, up at resistance. I have no idea what to do with that. Thomas Cliff, Nicola. Yeah, I saw Cliff gapping up yesterday. McGraw brought this to my attention yesterday, and I said I liked it. Cliff, we're actually in a put spread on X. We gave RS is a beautiful, beautiful 1, 2, 3. That's already posted from yesterday, and that's a go. That's a total go over the highs. I like RS. Stolled also yesterday. All right, Stolled, that's not a good close. So Stolled, stay away. Cliff did good, and I like that RS. All right, let me continue now. All right, Riot, we were watching yesterday as a bottoming pattern. So let's keep an eye on that. CEL, JRHP, we just covered Cliff. All right, this thing's a gap down. This is a 1, 2, bearish 1, 2, 3 down to $63. No pattern there. HP. There's no pattern here. I mean, it's far from the 20. It's an inside day. There's no pattern on the 15. It is, though, very bullish on the weekly and monthly. I mean, monthly you could get $5 out of the monthly. It's right here at the prior high on the weekly. It needs to go sideways a little bit more to burn off some steam. So see that weekly that I just showed you over here, you can see it's at these prior highs here from March. It needs to go sideways for a little bit. That's my answer, but I like the weekly a lot. REAL 1990. So it's a gap breakout, but right at the gap fill. No interest in that. Al. All right, so this is in a nasty downtrend. It got climactic, far from the 20, pick up in volume. So there's a lot of shares exchanging hands here. What do I think it's good for? I was selling some ADT pre-market. All right. All right, so 30-minute high. This could be a day trade and or put spread. It's still in a downtrend, and we're good. It would be a play just riding the elevator back up a little bit because of the price war. McGraw gave me this. McGraw, I like this. I like this 180 reversal. And I like the 2 bars, even though they're red, they're resting days, and it held the upper 50%. So I like crowd. I'm gonna put that in a window. TCAT from yesterday. Here's a bottoming pattern. Somebody mentioned yesterday, we got a 50% pullback now. So let's keep an eye on that. McGraw, you mentioned this one. It is a double bottom, McGraw, but it's still in a nasty downtrend. So I would prefer a bottoming tails. I would snap back. I'd prefer, pick up in volume here. See, so that's where volume would help me on turns and igniting. Go to 1710. It still needs time. I must, that's an ADR, I have no interest in it. CS, on a break above. No, absolutely not, Steve. No, 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 no. We don't buy breakouts that run and just take out resistance. Instead, what you would want to do is then wait for a you would want to wait for a subsequent pullback. We buy breakouts from consolidation. So yeah, no on that one. Neo, Neo,
Transport's popping up here at the open.
Neo, there's no pattern yet. You know, it's greater than 100% retreat. So here's an example of a breakout, Steve. Neo, look at this bar on May 24. That was beautiful. That was a breakout from a bottoming pattern. But we buy breakouts from support, not after multiple bar runs far from the 20. Okay. Oh yeah. That was on our list yesterday. I posted it. We can do 30-minute high on that. Yeah, that's an end of day base, is what we call it. Had the morning run and it stayed in the upper third all day long. Yeah, GNK looks fine. Otis, my man. It's fine. It was a 1-2-3. I gave it as a put spread, which we did not get our credit, so I canceled it. But I like it. You know, I don't trade in the first 5 minutes myself. So you can, you know, it's just a matter of aggressiveness. Harold, we took our profits on snow yesterday. Into strength. We closed the back half. So yeah, we're out of that already. All right, proud. That's the McGraw trade.